Marshall Gordon, when you look at the XLV, which is the ETF, which tracks the healthcare sector, that was up 6% in the first quarter versus a flat S&P. So what drove it, and how much longer can it continue?
I think the healthcare sector more broadly can continue to move higher. It's one of the best fundamentals sectors in the market. You really have some long-term tailwinds, including innovation and the aging of the population, that I think can keep the stocks with good growth and to keep them moving higher.
All right. When you look at the XLV, there's a lot of big pharma in it. There's a lot of biotech, other healthcare arenas. But let's stick with the big pharma. What's going to drive that in Q2 and Q3 of this year?
I think pharma is actually going to be driven by innovation and really product stories coming from company pipelines. To date, it's really been driven by new product stories, and so those key new product stories, companies that continue to deliver good clinical results and good drug launches, things like Bristol-Myers with the launch of Opdivo, those kinds of companies are going to continue to move higher.
Now, do you care if that company's based in the U.S. or in Europe? Because right now everyone's talking about currency wars, and that factors into a lot of people's thinking.
Currencies can make a difference in the short term, but over the long term, what we really believe drives these stocks are more fundamental and, once again, sort of underlying earnings growth, which is key to delivery of new drugs to the market.
Meanwhile, in Q1, the Biotech ETF, which everyone watches, the BIIB, that was up 12% versus, once again, a flat S&P. Can this continue, or is this in bubble territory now?
You know, a lot of people claim that biotech is headed towards bubble territory. I don't believe that. I think that biotech is a very healthy sector. Certainly valuations are towards the higher end of historical ranges. That said, I don't see it as overvalued. I think there are parts of small and mid-cap biotech land that are towards the frothier end, but you look at the big-cap biotechs, they have very visible earnings growth in the double digits, even the 20s for the next several years, very full pipelines, and I see those as still very attractive stocks to own.
So which names do you like in that area, and will those attractive names go out and fill those pipelines by buying some smaller players?
So I would say there are three names I've mentioned. First is Biogen Idec, where there are a number of clinical readouts for some very large potential drugs. They have a drug that is going to help remyelinate the brain. They also have an Alzheimer's drug and several others that will be reading out over the next several months. And the risk-reward into that is favorable. Second is BioMarin, a very similar setup, where you have another number of pipeline opportunities that we'll find out more about in the next 12 to 18 months, and I think a lot of those are going to be positive. And finally, Spark Therapeutics. There's one where I think they'll be able to deliver the first gene therapy to market in the next 12 to 18 months.
All right, thanks a lot, Marshall.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching The Street.